We interrupt this late show with Stephen Colbert to take a listen to what the governor says now about the fires and explosions in the Merrimack Valley. Looks like he's checking to make sure everybody's ready. He is with state police tonight with the latest information. Let's listen in as the governor prepares.
Well, good evening. Obviously, today's incidents have been traumatic for the people of Lawrence and North Andover and Andover. And we are all especially heartbroken to learn of the death of Leo Rondon. Thankfully, neighbors helped neighbors. Police, fire, and our first responders jumped into action quickly. And despite the fluid situation these communities are experiencing, local, state, and federal partners are working together to make sure their communities are safe. We currently have now techs and first responders dispatched to all three communities to review the 8,000 homes that were affected by this particular circumstance. Each of the mayors, the mayor and the two city managers will talk more about that. We've spoken to local officials, state authorities, and utilities about how important it is to do the work that's needed to be done to ensure that all the infrastructure is inspected thoroughly and efficiently. The police, fire, and first responders who've poured in from across the regions have done an incredible job, and I want to thank them for stepping up today. I've made clear to the utility company they must immediately bring in additional resources and develop a comprehensive safety inspection plan for each of these communities. The people of Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover must be assured that their homes are safe to return to. And our local officials will make clear when it's safe to return home. We're assisting the utility by bringing in support from other utility companies as we speak. At this time, the focus remains on ensuring the public safety. Once that's complete, we'll work with federal government and others to investigate how this occurred and to hold the appropriate parties accountable for their actions. We'll also continue to assist the cities and towns as they set up shelters until it's safe for everyone to return to their homes. This has obviously been an incredibly difficult day, and at this time I ask everyone to think of the family who lost a loved one today and to pray for everyone who's been injured. I now want to give each of the local officials a chance to speak to what's going on the ground in each of their communities. Mayor Rivera will give his remarks in both English and Spanish. Thank you.
So, as we went through the rest of the evening, as we talked about earlier today, all the assets were deployed as expected. The type of support that we got on the fire front from PD, from fire departments across the Merrimack Valley, and I think even southern New Hampshire, has been incredible. The same type of support mutually that we've gotten so far from the police departments across the Merrimack Valley, but also from Boston, has been incredibly important for us. As we ask people to leave their homes and their belongings behind, the number one task for us was public safety. And so people who have left their homes, who lived in South Lawrence, who left their homes, can be rest assured that we're doing all we can to ensure that the streets overnight and the times that we get through this are going to be maintained safe. Our firefighters are tired. They fought a lot of fires today. Some of them are still active. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to get all those put out, and we're going to create a safe situation for people to come back. So be patient. If you live in Lawrence, in South Lawrence, if you live in North Lawrence, you still have no problems as of right now. If you live in South Lawrence, don't come back to your homes until we ask you to come back to your homes. We want a situation where you come back where there is no gas and there's no threat to yourself or your loved ones. We're not sure that that's going to be anytime soon. So make plans for at least between now and this time tomorrow. We'll probably be in the same situation, making sure it's safe. We do have 3 shelters in place: Partham School on East Haverhill Street, St. Mary's on Haverhill Street, and the Arlington School on Arlington Street. We've been supported by the Red Cross in those areas, MEMA, FEMA. The federal and state agencies have been very supportive for us. We're going to go through a lot of things here. Everybody's going to come up here and tell you a lot of things, and you're going to seem like we're just talking about stuff, but we are incredibly emotionally involved in this matter. And I think the most important thing that we ask of you when you talk to your people on TV and the radio, to remain calm. It doesn't make any sense for anybody not to be calm through this process. I'm going to try to say some of this stuff in Spanish. I don't know if the governor, if you want me to say some of the stuff you said in Spanish. I don't have it in my head.
No, don't.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
La cosa más importante es que si tú vives en South Lawrence y ya dejaste tu casa, nosotros tenemos muchísimos recursos. Tenemos la policía de Lawrence, la policía estatal, la policía de diferentes lugares que están ayudando a nosotros a asegurar que la área de Lawrence se mantiene segura. No puedes regresar a tu casa hasta mañana a lo mínimo de la noche, porque queremos asegurar que las casas estén seguras, que no tengan el olor de gas y que no por cualquier cosa le perjudique la vida a ustedes o a su familia. Sabemos que es una cosa rara, pero tenemos que tener un chin de paciencia, que están haciendo el trabajo para asegurar que todo esté seguro antes que regresamos. Tenemos 3 lugares donde pueden ir si no tienen a dónde que ir. Es la escuela Partham, que está en la East Haverhill, la escuela Arlington, que está en la Arlington Street, y también la escuela St. Mary's, que está a cruzar de la iglesia St. Mary's en la Lawrence. Son lugares donde pueden ir a pasar la noche, a cargar un teléfono, y vamos a hacer ese esfuerzo hasta que necesitamos. Recuerden, no pueden regresar. Aunque tú veas un equipo trabajando, pagando algo en la calle, no puedes regresar porque no se sabe si el olor de gas va a estar fuerte en tu casa. Again, if you see a work crew out in your street, working in the street, that doesn't mean that they fix your area. Again, the issue is that there could be still a gas leak in your home. And the danger with that is that it's an invisible thing, you can't see it, and in some cases you won't even be able to smell it. And God forbid you go to sleep and might not wake up tomorrow. So just be careful about where you stay. You shouldn't be in South Lawrence at all. We're going to start that process of going through the homes and making them safe for people. We do have a place, there's a place online, we'll make sure we get it out to everybody where people want to give resources to the families that are in need. We're going to use the shelters as places that people can drop stuff off at. Everybody's asking what they can do for the families. Those are the places. Go there. Kendrys Vasquez, who's the city council president, is running the effort of ensuring that things that people need are being met. And so if you have any questions about that, just go directly to the shelter. We'll be able to surprise you with them. Lo dije en inglés, pero lo voy a decir también en español. Aunque nosotros estamos hablando de esto en una manera bien calma, nosotros tenemos eso bien cerca de nuestro corazón. No estamos molestos de la manera que pasó la cosa. Estamos enfrentando el problema con todo lo que da, pero la cosa importante es que nosotros nos mantenemos en un estatus sin revolú y sin las personas que se sientan que no hay control. Tenemos el control, estamos teniendo el trabajo a la mano y aseguran que no regresen a su casa esta noche y todo el mundo será seguro mañana. Thanks.
Hi everybody, I'm Andrew Mailer from the town of North Andover. We know that it's been an extraordinarily long day for those families directly impacted by the fires and the explosions. An equally long day for those other residents who live in the neighborhoods affected by the same, and certainly a long day for all first responders who have done a tremendous job of making us feel safer in our own homes. This remains a public safety event, however, and I caution everybody not to get impatient at this time and rush back to the homes if you're not comfortable. As the governor mentioned, there is a tech from Columbia Gas accompanying a police officer and a firefighter in each of the communities, going from home to home for those houses that have been impacted. Let that process continue. We'll continue to communicate with you about those homes that are impacted when we believe it's safe to return, specifically in North Andover. We continue to want you to err on the side of safety and caution. If you are not comfortable, do not return to your home. There is no rush. We have a shelter at the high school. We have capacity at that high school, and we have the facilities necessary to make sure that you can feel comfortable and safe. So again, as a precaution, If you're safe, comfortable that you can return to your home and have been given sufficient information to do so, that's your choice. But in cases that you're not so certain, please err on the side of caution and make sure that you use our shelter. Thank you.
Good evening, Andrew Flanagan from the town of Andover. I also would like to thank Andover residents and residents across the region for their patience in what has been an extremely difficult afternoon, evening, and now into the morning. I certainly ask for your continued patience as we work to mobilize in Andover to get people back in their houses. In Andover, we've identified the impacted area to be from Route 28, north of Route 28 and Salem Street. For those in the impacted area, we are currently deploying teams that consist of representatives from Andover Fire Rescue, Andover Police, and a natural gas technician to confirm that your gas has been shut off. If it has not been shut off, it will be shut off, and we'll be providing more information. But at this time, we ask that you remain evacuated. For the households south of Salem Street and Route 28 towards North Reading, you may return to your house. We ask you to use extreme caution. If you have shut off your gas, do not turn it back on and wait for a natural gas technician. We have the Senior Center and the Youth Center both open at 30 Whittier Court. They'll remain staffed and resourced throughout the evening and into tomorrow. We'll continue to evaluate and do a needs assessment in Andover in order to provide continued services to the community, our residents, and our businesses. So continue to look for new information from the town and from all of us. And again, thank you for your patience.
Questions?
Governor, are you confident no more fires will break out overnight?
We are pretty confident about that no more fires will break out overnight, yes.
How are you feeling about the gas company's response to it?
Well, as I said earlier, you know, that we're in the middle of a public safety event, and we do have several folks from the federal government who have arrived. There will be more coming in tomorrow. They're going to do the review on what I would call the sort of what happened piece. And I said earlier that as far as I'm concerned, this is an incomplete, and I'm glad that we now have folks from Columbia and first responders, typically a police officer and a firefighter, work in the communities with the lists. They now know which houses they need to check, and they'll be working through the night and into tomorrow to make sure that all of the meters are turned off in all of those houses.
You said some people from the federal government arrived. What agencies will be taking the
Well, it'll be a combination of agencies, but it's
DOT, pipeline safety, and NTSB. I'm sorry.
You all know Kurt, right? Yeah. Okay.
On the federal side, there's two federal agencies. Department of Transportation Pipeline Safety is already on the ground. We'll have more people coming in overnight. And the National Transportation Safety Board, which also has jurisdiction, has a team en route as well. So both agencies will be on the ground participating in the investigation.
And from Massachusetts side, will it be EPU or will it be other agencies?
Department of Public Utilities is on the ground and also will be present going forward and participating in the after-action review and investigation.
Is there a final number in terms of folks displaced, and is there any timeline for their return to their homes?
So what we know now is, again, it's 8,000 meters are impacted. We don't have a corresponding number in terms of when all 8,000, all of those structures will be deemed safe and habitable. Again, at this point, we don't have an answer yet, a reentry time. We'll continue to provide information and push this forward, but we certainly expect that people will not be returning into those homes until, at the earliest, sometime well into the day tomorrow.
Do you have any updated number on how many homes caught fire and how many exploded?
It's only so to your question, we have rough numbers. There was somewhere between 60 and 80 fires, structure fires across the three communities, at least 3 explosions as well.
And any updates on anyone who was injured? I know there was one one fatality and others still in the hospital, and how serious are their conditions?
We know that some 25 people were treated. You've heard the unfortunate news about the one death. Beyond that, we do not have updated information on conditions of people that are still hospitalized. But we know that many of the 25 that were treated and released for relatively minor injuries, but some remain hospitalized.
And you know how many are still in the hospitals?
What is Columbia Gas doing right now? Why are they not out?
Columbia Gas, as the governor said earlier, Columbia Gas is here. They have been here from the start of the incident. They are engaged and working. What are they doing now? As you heard the governor say, some 80 service technicians have already deployed into the 3 communities to begin the process of inspecting 8,000 meters and shutting off all 8,000 meters. So the process is moving forward. It's a lengthy process. It's a fluid process that is going to take time.
I just want to take that too. I want to just answer that question too. Again, this is very important because they have to get with a firefighter and a police officer from each community, go door to door, go into the homes, shut off the meter, read if there's gas in the place. That stuff is meticulous. It's got to be done right. And then, before we let people back in, they got to make sure all that stuff is tight and that there's no more gas leaking in the homes. So there's going to be a ton of patience and a ton of, what they do, what they didn't do, what we did, what we didn't do. All that stuff is going to get taken care of. But we cannot take people off task today to answer that question because they're on task, making sure people's homes, specifically in the communities, people have been out of their homes all day. My community people are in their gyms, away from their family members, away from their personal effects. And so we're going to make sure that people stay on task. You guys have plenty of time to ask those questions that you're dying to ask about what happened and why it happened. Trust me, we want those answers too. But right now, the focus is on getting to every home and making it safe.
And right now, what can you tell us about what caused this and how to prevent it next time?
Again, right now, the focus is every house, go in there, shut the gas off, make it safe so people can back in their house as soon as possible. You're going to have all the time in the world to do that. Right now, we're trying to make it safe for the people who live in this community. I know,
Of the 80 trucks, how many?
Just to finish the answer, as the mayor said, as the governor said, our focus now has been on first response, life safety issues, security. There is a team that is focused and will focus on determining the cause. We'll have more to say about that in the days to come, but it's premature now to be focused on causation.
Can you give sort of a breakdown of the severity of the fires? How many were completely destroyed houses? How many were minor fires? Can you break it out?
I don't have the answer for that. We can get you that information. You've certainly seen the news reports. We've had explosions with significant damage to homes. There were some very significant fires, and there were some that were much smaller, but we can follow up with you on numbers.
Thank you. Governor, just so I understand correctly, in all 3 of these communities now there's a gas worker, a police officer,
And a tech.
groups of gas
And a tech.
Groups of them.
officials going home to home.
Right.
And is that happening? Plan to happen all the way tonight and tomorrow?
That is, yeah, it's expected that will happen through the night and into tomorrow until all 8,000 homes have been inspected. Yeah.
Are all of those techs from Columbia, or are they from other facilities as well?
I believe all of them are either Columbia employees or work with Columbia. Yeah.
Governor, can
Thank
say
you.
if part of the investigation focuses on their work in the area today?
Say again?
If the investigation is focusing on some of their work in the area today before this all happened, I know they're working on some gas lines.
What the feds are going to take a look at is they're going to answer the question that was raised earlier, which is the why did this happen, which would obviously include a review of that as well.